Hello and welcome once again to the Boxing Opinions YouTube channel. I'm Jack Price. You can follow me on Twitter at PriceyJ97 or on our boxing page at BoxingOpinions1. Today we're bringing you another exclusive interview, the second one of the week. Yesterday we did one with British welterweight Dale Evans. Make sure you check that out, a great interview. And today we're interviewing English Cruiserweight champion Matty Askin, a great guy, a serious contender in the British Cruiserweight division and maybe even European level and world level in the future. It's a top class interview as usual. He's a great guy. You can follow him on Twitter. If you want to follow his career, it's at Matty Askin. I'm sure he's happy to talk to all of his fans, all of the boxing fans out there, answer the questions that you may have for him. And we had the opportunity today to ask him a few questions. And yeah, like I said, it's a great interview. He answered all of the questions very well. He's very down to earth, smart as well, knows a lot about boxing. So yeah, we'll switch over to the interview now. I'm sure you enjoy it. Thanks for listening. Well, first of all, we'll congratulate you on your last fight with China Clark, a 10-round points decision. Were you happy to pick up your first major title?
Yeah, definitely. Especially the recent form that I'd been in. I took a bit of a dip with 2 losses, and China Clark was coming on some good form. He'd beat a lot of good opponents. He'd stopped Matty Camacho, who was, being built up to be a big prospect. And I think I handled Clark easy. Absolutely. Well, they're not one bit of trouble. So yeah, I'm happy to pick up a title and hope to push on for bigger things.
Did you see Clark as a tough test going into the fight, and did you expect to win so clearly on points?
Well, I've known Clark for years. When I first turned over, he was at Brian Hughes' gym as well, and I know how tough he is. But I remember the sparring sessions, and he will have done as well when I was only a kid then. To be honest, I didn't think I'd beat him pretty much every round, but I knew I'd have him on the deck at some point, and I knew that I would beat him. I just didn't think it'd be that convincing.
Do you feel the fight has put you back into position to maybe get a rematch with British champion John Lewis Dickinson sometime in the near future?
Yeah, definitely. That's a fight I think everyone wants. I know that Neil Dawson's, he's come on some good form at the minute. He's just beat Tony Conquest in the first round. He stopped Chris Keane in the first round as well. These are good lads that he's beaten, but I stopped Neil Dawson in 6. When he was unbeaten.
Yeah.
I think he wants to get the shot before me. So it depends on how Dickinson wants to play it. Really, he's got a choice of either have the risk of being beat off me or have a pretty comfortable defence over Dawson. So, I would want the fight, and I think it'd be a lot more explosive than the last one.
Yeah.
So,
I was going to ask you about Dawson actually. Do you think, obviously he's coming off of 2 big knockout wins, do you think he could cause an upset against Dickinson maybe?
For me, he's just brilliantly basic. He doesn't lose his composure. He's got a good jab. Dawson can punch. I remember that me being it off him, and I've got a good chin, and he caught me, and I remember thinking, that's it's a bit of a dig like, but I don't know. Dickinson's very good at what he does, so it's a close one to call, really.
Other than Dickinson and Dawson, who else do you see as serious contenders in the British Cruiserweight division right now?
Everyone's been beat,
Yeah.
So there's no one really that stands out. I mean, Camacho at the prize fight I win, which I think is more or less his sort of a game. He's got a punch on him. It's open. Again, it's wide, it's massively widely open. I've always believed that me on my day is the best in the division, but sometimes it don't work out that way. Everyone's got a chance at the minute. I know Chris Keane was meant to fight me for my English title, and they took what they thought would be an easier fight against Dawson and got stopped. So it's just a massive, wide open division, and it's there for the taking. And at the minute, Dickinson's doing a good job of it.
Yeah. When are you next looking to return to the ring? And if it's not against Dickinson, who else would you like to face?
I'm hoping to be back out in September time. I'm still ticking over now. I'm in the gym. I'm doing my runs. Staying to my diet. I've never been bothered about facing anyone. It's never fazed me at all. If I have to beat a certain fighter to get what I want, then that'd be it. I think I showed that going over to Poland after 2 weeks' notice. I know it weren't the outcome that I wanted, but I was winning the fight. I fight anyone and everyone who's, it's what I'm in the sport to do. I'm in the sport to be the best, and if that means fighting everyone in the division, then so be it. Simple as that.
Well, your only other loss in your career came to Poland's Glowacki, if that's how you say it.
Yeah.
Are you bothered about avenging your loss to him, or you past that now?
At that point, that's one that wound me up. That was when I was close to retiring. Because I knew even if I'd had 5 weeks training, I'd just come back off holiday. They asked me for a fight. I didn't really fancy it. I kind of got pushed into a corner about it. The money was pretty decent and the chance of getting the title. And I was smashing him. I had him out on his feet, and then I was couldn't finish him.
Yeah.
And that was after 2 weeks' notice. I had 5 or 6 weeks' notice. I'd absolutely murdered him. So, and even after the fight, his team and that were coming up to me, and they were like, they couldn't believe that he'd got the weight. Like, he caught me with a body shot, which was perfect to be fair. But I'd love that rematch tomorrow. I'd absolutely smash him, because he's not as good as they build him out to be. Not at all.
You're only...
That one means more to me than the Dickinson one, because the Dickinson one I knew I lost myself.
Yeah.
So.
So you're only young, so you've obviously still got tons of time left in your career. What are your long-term aims and ambitions in the sport?
Again, the Cruiserweight division's not really thriving, but if I could make it a European champion, I'd be happy. As long as I could, to be honest with you, as long as I could get my own, just live comfortably, that's what I could make in boxing. I won't be that upset about it. But I'll give it 100% all the time, and and if that's enough, it's enough. If it isn't, then at least I can say I gave it a go.
Yeah. So do you have any aspirations for world level, or do you feel the level you're sort of at is British and European?
No, I believe I have. I'm only 24. I've only had 16 fights or 17 fights. I've still got plenty of time. I've been rushed, to be honest with you. I've done everything quite fast. It's only now that I've slowed things down and started learning a bit more. I've got plenty of time, but you never find that out until you step up to that level, do you? So, only time will tell.
We've interviewed 2 other British cruiserweights recently, Chris Keane and Waddy Camacho. What are your thoughts on these 2 guys as contenders in the division?
Yeah, Camacho, he's a big puncher. He's a bit overeager. I think they rushed him as well into the fight with China. Like I said before, it happened. I know China. I know he's got a good chin, and he's just a very tough lad. And I knew that they'd build him up too much. So to be fair, that's what happened with me. I got too much of a big head, got in there with Dickinson, and pretty much got schooled until the last 3 or 4 rounds. And so I knew it was a big step up for him. But if he slows it down and doesn't get ahead of himself, he could do well. Chris King, for me, he's not fully fledged cruiserweight. He's quite small, he's quite chunky. But again, he's got the skills to do it. It's unfortunate with the Dawson outcome, but that can happen. A guy's of his size, one punch can take you out. And to be fair, that it's going to take him a lot to come back from that knockout. I watched it, and it was very heavy, very heavy knockout. So we'll just see how he recovers from that.
And now we just got a few questions from some of our followers on Twitter. First one, who do you see as your biggest threat in the current cruiserweight division in Britain?
It's got to be Dickinson, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all. I think again, me and him are number 1 and 2 in the country. Which means we should have a fight again. It's got to be Dickinson. Simple as that.
Yeah. If Olaf Alabi was looking for a return fight in Britain at the end of the year, would you be willing to take him on, or do you feel it's still too early?
No, I'd take him on. I'd never say no to any fight. I'm in this sport. If it's 10 weeks, without a shadow of a doubt, I'd take him on. Not a problem.
Neil Dawson has just knocked out Chris Keane and Tony Conquest, but you stopped him in 6 rounds. They want to know if he was the toughest opponent you've beat so far, other than Dickinson and Glowacki.
I don't know, actually. Yeah, I'd say he was. He could punch. He was taller than me. He had a decent jab on him, and he was just awkward. I knew though in time, during the fight, that I'd catch him at some point and I'd take him out. I started warming into the fight about 4 or 5 and then in 6 I eventually got him.
Yeah.
You know, so no, yeah, I would say just the more tactical side of it, where he kind of baffled me a bit with just how long his arms were.
And then finally, can you just give a quick message and shout out to your fans?
Yeah, just like to say a massive thank you for everyone that stood by me, and you know that they come to every fight and that are always there, reliable, and make the loudest noise in the arena. So a massive thank you.
So there you go, another top interview from another top British fighter. Like I said, if you want to follow Matty Askin's career, you can follow him on Twitter at Matty Askin. And if you want to get involved with any of our future Boxing Opinions interviews, you can follow us on Twitter at PriceyJ97, but most importantly at BoxingOpinions1. Every time we have an interview, we tweet it out, and you just tweet back with any questions you may have for the fighter we're interviewing, and we'll be sure to ask him it. So like I said, thanks for watching. A great interview from Matty Askin. I'd just like to thank you for doing it, and on to the next one now. Cheers.